These are 6 small changes or add-ons to your fitness routine. Let's jump in. The first one is incorporating balance exercises. Research supports that when we do balance exercises, our balance improves. When people are tested on their balance, if they're doing balance exercises, their scores on the testing will improve. Also, our risk of falls will decrease. So these are really important and wonderful outcomes to doing balance exercises. You can either incorporate balance exercises into routines, into workout routines that you're already doing, adding on a couple of balance-focused exercises. You can do a routine that stands alone as a balance workout, and check out my description below. I have some of those, so you could join me in a balance routine. And you can add it throughout your day. You could be brushing your teeth and just lift one foot, standing in a grocery store, line up and put your feet in staggered stance. So how do we improve our balance, or how do we do these balance exercises? Well, as I just talked about, reducing your base of support, so bringing your feet together, lining your feet up in staggered stance, putting your arms out, maybe doing some movement with your arms as you're standing in that stance. You could have your hand on a support as you lift one foot and then lift and lower your hand. There's lots of ways to work on balance. The second is to ensure we're doing strength training, that we're doing resistance-based exercise. What does that mean? Resistance can be resistance against gravity, so body weight against gravity. Think about a push-up against a wall or an incline push-up, squats, lunges, these body weight exercises where working against gravity. If we go for a hike and we're going up a hill, all of these things are really great at strength training. And then we can add on to that dumbbells, resistance bands, kettlebells. If you go to the gym and you're using machines, these are all resistance exercises. It's generally recommended twice a week to focus on strength training. And why do we talk about that, especially midlife and beyond? If we live a sedentary lifestyle, our muscle mass and our strength will naturally decline. In addition to that, our power will decline. So by staying active and focusing on building strength, we can counteract those natural things that are going to happen with age. And why do we want to do this? Well, yeah, it's great to have, toned arms, toned legs, things like that. But more importantly, we're going to be able to continue to do all the things we love. If you do love getting outside and walking in trails, you need strength, you need power. When we talk about power, we use that throughout the day. If you're crossing a street and the lights change and you need to pick up your speed, you're using power. If you are driving your car and you need to quickly put your foot on the brake, that's a power move. So there's all sorts of things we don't necessarily think of that require that quick, explosive movement. So we want to keep incorporating resistance exercise into our routine. Resistance training is also really great for our bone health. Think as you are building muscle, we're also boosting the health of our bones. The third thing to consider and maybe change in 2026 is to continue to make progressions. So we can get into a routine that we're very comfortable with and it's working for us, and that is amazing. So let's say, for an example, you're walking twice a week and doing resistance exercises twice a week, and you have a routine that you like, and that's going great. But just check in. It's about reevaluating as well. If that's starting to feel easy, so that's subjective, but just checking in with your body. Is this starting to feel easier than it used to? What's my recovery like? Do I wake up the next day and not even notice that I did a workout, for example? Not that you want to feel sore, but you should feel your muscles, that you have worked your muscles. After cardio, you should feel, maybe that you sweat a little bit. So just checking in. And if it's starting to feel pretty baseline, that might be an indication it's time to make a progression. We want to keep moving forward. And so what do I mean by progressions? There's lots of ways. We can increase time. So let's take the example of a walk. Maybe you're going for a 30-minute walk. You could bump that up to 40, 45 minutes. You could increase intensity. So again, going to a walk, and you know that you're mostly on flat terrain, but there's a hill that you could add, so you could add that. If you're doing those body weight exercises and you feel like your form, everything's going really great with your squats, lunges, for example, you could add some light dumbbells. A key to progressing what you're doing is just choose one progression at a time. So for that example of body weight exercise, you could either go from twice a week to 3 times a week, or you could go from a 30-minute workout to a 40-minute workout, or you could add the dumbbells. But just make one of those changes so that you can continue to check in with yourself and reevaluate. And then maybe a few months down the road, you can do another progression. So we just want to make sure our body is adapting well to what we decide to progress. By the way, if we haven't met before, I'm Sandra. I design workouts on my channel, Fitness Over 50 with Sandra, for you and I to work out together over age 50. I have a degree in rehabilitation medicine and occupational therapy. I'm a certified personal trainer, and I'm just passionate about creating creative workouts to keep us active and to hit all these goals that I'm talking about today. Number 4 is to put a little bit more thought into rehydration and refueling. Often in my workouts, if it's a longer workout, I will incorporate about halfway through a water break. So if you've done workouts with me, you'll know that I'll say, let's all take a sip of water together, and we all do that together, making sure that we're staying hydrated halfway through a workout, and then after the workout, drinking some more water. As well, refueling. Dr. Stacy Sims, who is an exercise expert, in particular women's fitness, she recommends that within 30 to 45 minutes of a workout to have some good quality carbs and protein. It signals to our body to rebuild after the workout, because basically what's happening is we do some exercises and then the muscles need to rebuild. And the good quality foods, whole foods that we replenish with, will help our body to do that. So that's simplified. I'm not a nutrition expert. So some of the things I like to have after a workout is Greek yogurt with blueberries. I might put a little bit of granola in. And a hack is I always have some protein powder around, and I'll put a half or even less of a scoop of protein powder right into my yogurt, stir it in. I use a Vega protein powder, and it seems to mix in really well. So now I'm getting a really nice boost of protein, some blueberries, some superfoods. Another thing I might have is a multigrain piece of toast with some almond butter on top. So, you can play around with what works for you, but don't forget after your workout to replenish your body. Number 5 is take the time to stretch and to focus on deep breathing. And I put this one in, I'm really talking to myself, because as kind of a lifelong exerciser, I used to do a lot of running. I tend to, if I'm just doing my own workout and I'm not doing it for a class or for you guys, if it's just for me, maybe I can get away with, a shorter cool down. The cool down and stretching component is actually as important as every other part of the workout. So taking that time to stretch out all the muscles that we have worked, and it's also an excellent time to focus on breathing. If we are under stress, if we're not thinking about the breathing, sometimes we can get into really shallow breathing, which will make us feel even more stressed. So taking that time when we're holding a stretch at the end of a workout to come back to noticing our breath and taking those big inhales, big exhales. I visualize that I'm taking a big inhale to fill up all the way to the bottom of the lungs and then exhaling all the air back out. And this is really good for our stress and for our mental health. So ensuring that we're taking the time to cool down, stretch, focus on breathing. These are all as important as everything else we're doing. And number 6 is putting your health, your fitness as one of your top priorities. We often can get caught up in the expectations and the demands, the needs of other people in our life, maybe your career, your household, your community, other things. And these are all really important things, and we're not going to take away from that. But just shifting the focus from once I do everything else, if there's time left over, I'll fit in a workout or I'll fit in a walk. And shifting that to, in order to be good at and be healthy and be able to take care of other things that are important to me, to do the activities that are important to me, I need to continue to be active and fit and healthy. And that comes from making this a priority. So whether that's first thing in the morning when I get up, I'm going to get my workout done, scheduling things into a calendar, or just shifting that mindset that this is non-negotiable. I do my workouts, I get my fitness in. And I'd love if you want to work out with me on my channel here, and we can, hold each other accountable. So don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new workouts. I always love your comments, whether you're commenting on a workout you're doing. This video today, I'd love to hear which of these 6 changes or add-ons or small adjustments to your fitness routine you're thinking about starting in 2026. And I always appreciate you hitting the like button. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and continue to take good care.